Jon and I have been gone for a while. I hope you missed us because we missed you. But for reasons that we can't really discuss now, because it will take all night, we were absent for a while. But tonight, we are back with episode 28.1. And we've decided, since it's the holiday season, that we should do a holiday special. And it's Jon and I. So without saying more, you're not going to be bored. So sit right there and listen to what we're going to tell you.
I think we're going to have to clarify again with the we decided, because we didn't decide anything. As usual, we had a topic selected, which we will do next time. And I was fully prepared for. And then this morning, I was told we are doing a holiday special, which I'm not opposed to doing, but a little prep time would have been nice. That's all I'm saying.
Who needs to prepare for a holiday that you've been celebrating for the 61 years that you've been alive?
I'm 51. How do you get to 61? You know, math, again, we've already discussed math is not your thing. But besides, wait, the first statement you made, who needs to prepare for a holiday? That's what people do. They prepare for holidays.
Yes, but what I mean, and let me clarify, because with Jon, clarification is always necessary.
I don't remember why I took so much time off since the last. I needed recovery time.
Prepare the basic knowledge of the occasion that you're celebrating.
It's not preparing the basic, it's preparing what people may actually want to hear.
Okay, Jon, you can argue about why a stone is a stone. So let's just carry on with tonight.
You don't make this easy. You do not make this easy.
We are so thrilled to be back sitting in these chairs in the studio, spending time with you. I changed tonight's topic because I feel like Jon and I have been discussing some very hot topics. And in light of the holiday season where we're all supposed to be festive and having fun, if we discussed the holidays that we both are celebrating because they're different, that it might be a nicer topic to discuss tonight since we've been on a hiatus.
Have we been on a hiatus, or you just have a very busy life and a very busy schedule and don't have time for me? So that's why we were on a hiatus. It's not something we have to talk about all night, like you said before.
As I've grown wiser, I have learned to choose my battles. And I'm just not going to engage with you tonight.
Whatever. Anyway.
So,
it's interesting what you just said. You said that it's the time of year. Well, what'd you say exactly? Where it's supposed to be joyous and festive. Did you say something? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'll tell you something. I don't know about your holidays, but my holidays are not necessarily all joyous and festive. Now, this is maybe a joyous and festive time of year because, it's snow and the winter season and the new year and people supposed to be happy and things like that. But in reality, the holiday that you're in the season of celebrating right now is Christmas, and the holiday that I am in the season of celebrating right now is Hanukkah. So there's a lot of meaning behind Hanukkah. We'll get into that in a little bit, but it's not necessarily joyous and festive. There is a deep-rooted meaning behind the holiday and the cause of why we have the holiday and why we celebrate the holiday and exactly what the holiday is about. And it's not about all joy and festive.
okay, I agree. But Jon, the holidays have their significance. And then for my holiday, first of all, what I would like to do, and you do what you choose to do when you talk about your holiday, but what I would like to do tonight is discuss or share, rather, what Christmas meant to me as a little girl growing up in the boondocks of South America on the Guyanese-Venezuelan border, where I started my life. And for me, it was joyous, beautiful, special, because it was pure. And we adhered to the purpose of the celebration, as well as we brought very unique flavors to it, because that's what it was all about then. Although there was a commercial aspect to it, we placed more value on the actual celebration. And I don't want to hog the conversation, but I
Too
will
late.
share more by talking about when it started and how the whole thing played out and why it left an indelible mark of love and light on my life. And so whenever I reflect on Christmas, it's it brings back memories of the happiest times of my life. And unfortunately, I moved to the United States and Christmas took on a whole different meaning.
Wait, did you say unfortunately?
Or the holidays, because unfortunately, because it's not the same. But we have an hour. So within the hour, I will give a framework of how it played out.
If I promised to buy you an airline ticket back to Guyana one way and you promised never to come back, would you leave?
You know,
I mean, unfortunately, what do you mean, unfortunately? You're in America, the one free country in the world where you can practice your religion, you can enjoy yourself, you do anything that you want within the law. And you're saying, unfortunately, you can't do America?
Tonight, I'm not doing this with you. So if you want to fight, you're going to fight by yourself. Because tonight, I'm here to speak about things that made me happy, things that make me happy, because whether you believe in Jesus or Buddha or whoever, to me, all year long, I am blessed with good health, a roof over my head, food, and I choose to use this time, although I am not religious, as a time to celebrate and show gratitude for all of the blessings.
Okay, so let's be happy. We're going to do the happy
I'm
thing.
not asking you, I'm telling you how to be. I'm speaking about Jennylyn, if I'm allowed to.
Okay, so let's talk about what's happened to holidays in the United States. And you touched on this before when you said the commercialization.
Buy me a ticket to go back to.
Only if you promise,
So
only if you promise on video that you will not return. One-way ticket.
Jonathan,
Do I have your commitment?
what comes to mind, I cannot say on camera.
Okay, enough with the shenanigans. Let's get serious. Okay, so let's talk about holidays in America. Holidays in America. So holidays in America have become very commercialized. And unfortunately, a lot of the meaning or the deep-rooted meaning behind holidays is kind of been washed aside and replaced with all kinds of lights and trees and happiness and different kinds of foods. But that's not what the holiday is about. Okay, and maybe it's to make people feel good and happy, but you have to actually think about what the root of the holidays are. So I'm going to talk for a minute about the Hanukkah holiday, which in America many people refer to as Hanukkah, but it's not Hanukkah, it's Hanukkah. And it's not all about donuts and dreidels and lighting menorahs, which is what people see on the outside. What is Hanukkah and what has it become in America? Let's talk about what it's become, because this is relevant to Christmas as well.
Well, I wouldn't know what it's become because I didn't know what it was.
I said it's relevant to Christmas as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, holidays in the United States have been watered down. And they've been watered down, and again, you're not going to like when I say this, but they've been watered down mostly by secularized people and liberals. Because what liberals and secular people do not want is they really don't want religion and God injected into society. In fact, they do mostly everything to remove it from society, whether it's removing the Pledge of Allegiance from classrooms, whether it's getting stricter and stricter about church and state, whether it is doing all these things to kind of circumvent around God and what the holidays are about in order to just kind of water it down and make it very generic. And, you know, I was watching one of those things that just aggravated the hell out of me. Kamala Harris and Douglas Emhoff, her husband, when they were running, or when they had already won the election, they put together this video talking about Hanukkah. Now, again, Kamala Harris is not Jewish, Douglas Emhoff is, but Douglas Emhoff was doing this choreographed piece with her put out by the Democratic Party about what does Hanukkah mean to you, Kamala? And what do you like about Hanukkah, who's not even Jewish? And it really, wait, let me just finish. It fed into this secularizing of the holiday and the watering down of the holiday and the removal of God. And if you listen to her answers, which we'll talk about in a second, you'll see that this is the agenda of certain people in this country.
You and I are so different. We are, you know, we are so different that I feel like I need another adjective beside different to really emphasize the impact of what I'm trying to say. You have a way of trying to decide how everybody should be, and it should be in alignment with your beliefs and your way of living. And I'm very different. I'm like, let people, if they don't believe in God, if they don't want to acknowledge God, that's their journey.
Of course.
I stay true to mine, and I respect other people's choices, and I'm a lot happier for it.
Yes.
Because if you sit around and try to decide how everybody should be based on your beliefs and what you think people should do with their lives, you're always going to be fuming about something someone else is doing.
No, what you're saying is correct. The problem is that when you want to believe in something, it's fine. And when you want to believe in something, it's fine. But to try to whitewash my version of what the holidays means into what it means to you, which is the elimination of God from the holidays, that's the part that I have a problem with. So in other words, if you want to celebrate Christmas, I'm not saying you, Jennylyn, I'm saying a person generically that wants to celebrate a holiday and wants to do it how they want to do it, by all means, do it that way. But don't interject these messages in this messaging and this commercialization of things and try to change the way the holiday really is and what the holiday is about and what it was meant to be. Don't water it down to try to remove things from it and to alter what the holiday really is. And that's what secular people try to do.
And if they want to, let them.
Well, do it to you. Don't try to do it to me.
Well, don't sit here and tell me about it. You listen, here's the problem with the world. Everyone has got a gripe with something. And I have sympathy for people who can't let other people be who they want. You want to be a murderer? Go be one and go sit in jail and spend the rest of your life. Every action has a consequence.
Why does being a murderer enter my mind when I do this podcast?
Listen,
It's the only time everything.
I don't interrupt you. Could you be kind enough so that I make my point without your rude interruption?
Sure.
So anyway, John, for as long as I've known you, you gripe about how you want people to live life the way you do. And I understand it, but it's not gonna happen. Let people be who they are. You don't know why they believe what they believe. You don't know why they're saying what they're saying. As long as it's not directly affecting you, let them be, is my thing. I'm a happy person. I don't care who you want to be. You could be an elephant, you can be a pig. I saw somebody trying to turn a man into a dog. Hey, more power to you. For me, tonight, I wanted to speak about Christmas, what it means to me, and why. I grew up in a place called Mabaruma on the border of Guyana and South America. Most people have never heard of it. You probably
Border of Guyana and Venezuela.
You probably need a lot of research to find its actual location, but it's on the tip top of South America and it borders Venezuela. And we had a population of about 500 people. And those were the happiest days of my life. I was innocent. I had good parents with good values. We were protected. And for me, Christmas was taking the house apart from November, cleaning all the furniture, cleaning the walls, covering them up, hardly have anything to sit on. We had our beds. And then every night, when I come home from school, we would be preparing in some way. My brothers used to get dressed up and go carol singing in our neighborhood, come home with a lot of money that people gave them, which we bought Christmas presents. We sang Christmas carols, we went caroling different places for different people. And then as the days got closer to Christmas, my mom would make curtains. She had an old Singer sewing machine, and everything my mom did, I used to follow her and try to do it. And I could remember as a little girl with a shoe box, I put it across a wood and I was pedaling that box as my mom was pedaling her sewing machine.
That was your toy sewing machine?
While we played Christmas carols in the background, and it was such a happy time. I don't want to, so let me leave it here, John, and then maybe instead of bitching about what other people think and don't think, tell us what Christmas meant to John.
I can't think of anything.
Not Christmas, sorry, your holiday.
I can't think of anything more boring than everything you just described.
Okay, good. So let me have my boring stuff. Then tell us about your hatred. Yeah, let's hear who else you're gonna hate on because they don't see things your way.
Well, I don't know why people don't see things my way. That's part of the problem. Look,
That's what's
I don't
perplexing
have a
to
problem
me.
again with people doing what they want. Just don't try to impose what you want on me. That's it. I don't know why that's so hard to understand.
Who is imposing what they want on you?
Society, secular society, and liberals try to do that. That's what bothers me. Anyway, so we're talking about
Say it to that, but we'll end up with a big.
we'll do that on part 2. I like to argue with you. I don't have a problem with that.
Not going there.
I'm going to destroy your holiday mood. I'm going to be the Grinch that stole your Christmas.
Try, then I can talk straight at once. No,
Anyway, so I'm going to talk for a minute about what Hanukkah
takes my peace.
I'm going to talk right now. Ow! Oh, that hurt. That was a good slap.
It was supposed to.
Okay, anyway, so I'm going to talk for a minute about what Hanukkah really is and how it came about. I'll wrap it up in about 2 minutes, and then we'll move on. So actually, what Hanukkah really is in ancient times, there was an attempt by the Greeks to Hellenize the Jewish people and to basically remove the Jewish religion from them and replace it with Hellenistic ideas. The Greeks were very into sports and into music and into the arts, and what they wanted to do is impose their culture on other places. And the Jews were a prime place because the Jews did their own thing, had their own religion, and really were not exposed to this thing. So the Greeks thought they would come along and do that. What ended up happening is a lot of Jews did end up Hellenizing and becoming on the side of the Greeks. And it's kind of a civil war broke out between the Jews that wanted to remain true to their religion and the Jews that wanted to be Hellenized, along with the Greeks. And there was an actual civil war between the Jewish population. And what ended up happening is the Jews that wanted to remain true to their religion ended up winning the battle against the Greeks and against the Hellenized Jews. And what happened is once they returned to their temple, which really meant a return to their religion and practicing their religion, which was trying to be stomped out by the Greeks and the Hellenized Jews, they went to light something called a menorah. A menorah is the candles on that candelabra that have that you light for 8 days, because when they came to the temple, they only found enough oil that would light for 1 day. But the miracle of Hanukkah is that it actually lasted for 8 days, which is why we celebrate 8 days of Hanukkah. But the origins of Hanukkah were in a bloody civil war battle between Jews and Greeks to try to save and salvage our religion from being Hellenized and essentially wiped out. So Hanukkah really has become now a lot of things with lights and dreidels and donuts and Hanukkah parties and a happy thing, but it was born out of this horrible historical event, which again was another attempt by a nation to wipe out and destroy the Jewish religion, which is sort of the theme of how the Jewish religion going back to ancient times. Now, do I like lighting the menorah? Of course. Do I like playing dreidel with my kids? Well, they're older now, but I used to, of course. Do we like eating jelly donuts, which have symbolism behind them? Jelly donuts, they're fried, and the fried is part of the oil, which we use in the candelabra. Everything that we do ritual-wise in the holiday has its origins and it's tied into the historical event. But most people that are secular don't actually even know or understand the events or why they do things. They just think the holiday is about being joyful, being happy, and as Kamala Harris said in that video, spreading light to the world and joy, and that's actually not at all what it was. So that's actually what the origins of the holiday are and some of the meaning behind it.
So thank you for sharing that, Jon, and offering that clarification. And I haven't gone into the foundation of Christmas because I think most people know. So most people who would be celebrating Christmas already know the reason why we celebrate Christmas. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. 3 wise men came. He was born in a stable. That's how the story goes. But for me, it's an opportunity to give gratitude to God, the same God that serves all mankind, whether they have a little bit of camp over here called Judaism and Muslim and whatever. To me, it's one God. And this is my time. I give him thanks every day, but this is the one time I jump on the bandwagon with the multitudes to celebrate. And I have beautiful, fond memories of doing this. Anyway, thank you for watching us. We'll be back soon with the other half of this Christmas segment.
Hanukkah
Thank you.
Segment.
Hanukkah and Christmas, sorry.
Hanukkah. Say Hanukkah.
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 I will be back soon.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.